Hi everyone, I've just received a couple of books in the post. I'm really excited about this. So straight out of the box, it's by Beverly P. Mortgensen. And the title of the books in volume 1 and 2 is The Priesthood in Targum Pseudo Jonathan, Renewing the Profession. I can't wait to get into this book. It's kind of heavy, but it's I'm sure it's going to deliver lots. So in the contents, just looking at the contents here, it's quite detailed. In section 6, under esoteric knowledge, what makes the priest special, because it's looking at the Jewish priesthood here. Section A is magic, and then section B of that is tools of magic. Looked at the list there: the rod, the throne of glory. I'm thinking of Islamic critique has dealt with that quite a bit. The cloud of glory, the ark, manna, the well, the book of life. Of course, the well jumps out at me because of the Zamzam well. And so I'm going to read you just a couple of pages from it. It's on page 376, 377. Now, these books are really expensive, so I doubt many of you have these books. They're about 170 quid. And thank you to the Patreon supporters, without whom I couldn't possibly afford to buy these books. So I'm going to read you the well. In a semi-desert climate, the well that springs up is a truly magical tool. The Targum shows how this tool indicates special divine approval of an individual. 3 heroes produce wells in the Bible. PJ, which refers to Pseudo Jonathan, gives us background details. So if you hear PJ mentioned, it's not a person, it's Pseudo Jonathan. Scripture teaches that the Gerar herdsmen took Isaac's wells away from him that he had dug. He kept moving until they left him alone. PJ's writer reveals that God entered the story and made the wells useless unless they belonged to Isaac. Gerar shepherds quarrelled with Isaac's men over the well. They named it Ezek, challenge. The will of heaven dried it up until they returned it to Isaac when it flowed. PJ in relation to Genesis 26:20. The Targumist makes the well a tool that indicates God's assistance of his heroes on earth. Water in the desert produces a powerful example of God's intervention. Jacob carried the same merit as his father with regard to wells. We learn from PJ's that he made Laban's well overflow. In fact, its stopping gave Laban the clue that Jacob had left secretly. On the 3rd day, Laban learned that Jacob had fled. The shepherds found the well empty. They waited 3 days, but it overflowed not. Laban knew of Jacob's flight, for the well had overflowed through his merits for 20 years. And so this is again Pseudo Jonathan in relation to Genesis 31:22. The Targumist describes the fantastic benefit that Jacob brought with his presence, lasting the entire time of his residence in Haran. The priest reader learns how a chosen one can bring blessings on his whole community, just as Jacob did for those among whom he dwelt. Perhaps a son of Aaron could do the same. The most amazing and the longest lasting well was that of Miriam, which is the sister of Aaron. Her merit earned a constant water supply for the Israelites in the desert. So from Pseudo Jonathan in relation to Numbers 22, they had no water, they grumbled against Moses and Aaron. When Miriam died, the well was hidden. On account of Miriam's merit, a well had been given. The Bible tells nothing of this wondrous miracle in the desert. Source B, all Targums except Neophyte alludes to Miriams Well. But it is Pseudo Jonathan that explains how Miriam's merit benefits the entire people of Israel. Because of her, a well arises for everyone's use. Extra evidence of Miriam's merit appears in Pseudo Jonathan's account of the restoring of the well. Miriam, we come to understand, deserved that Israel should rediscover the well of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The miracle of Miriam's well is actually the rediscovery of the old well. Israel sang, "Spring up, O well," sang thanksgiving of when the well had been hidden was restored to them through Miriam's merits. Pseudo Jonathan, Numbers 21:17. The Targumist connects Miriam with the fathers of Israel. This enhances her status and that of her brother Aaron. Her well reflects upon them both. The rediscovered well, according to Pseudo Jonathan, performs mighty magic. It flows all around the Hebrew camp. It stops at every tent so each can drink. From Mattanah to Nahaliel to Bamoth to the valley in Moab, at the peak of Pisgah overlooking the wastelands, surrounding all the camp of Israel, giving each to drink at his tent. Pseudo Jonathan in relation to Numbers 21:19. In consistent fashion for magical tools, the well of Miriam performs fantastic feats beyond the necessary. The message of abundance shows the reader the wisdom of staying with the temple cult. In each of the three cases above, the well indicates a special person in the eyes of God. The magical source of water causes each hero to be well accepted within his or her group. Doubters take a second look at a person so special that water flows for him or her. The well is a particularly powerful magical tool. So for those watching, I'd like you to comment below. What connections can you see between this and the significance of the Zamzam well? I'm not going to say what occurs to my mind, and let's just see if what you have to say is what others see as well, because I see a lot of significance. Is the Zamzam well, for example, a way of conveying that Muhammad is an important person in the eyes of God? Is the Zamzam well, in a sense, necessary to prove that Muhammad is a hero, a prophet, and so forth? So leave your comments below and let's start the discussion.